The Outdoor Show. It's the program that puts you into the peaceful and beautiful home of Mother Nature. It moves you back to that calm fishing pond up north, one step away from Lake Michigan, or into your hunting blind on a brisk fall morning. The Outdoor Show. It's a peaceful program. This is not your mother's outdoor show. This is the WHTC Outdoor Show, hosted by a guy who literally has hunting in his name. Tom Meddendorf is Dutch for Village in the Maiden, or King's Hunting Ground. Your co-host, sometimes, is Tim Becker of Powderhorn Guns and Archery. It's time for what really happens when the guys go up north on that hunting trip. It's time for the WHTC Outdoor Show, presented by My Firearms ETS. That's MI Firearms ETS on 1450 WHTC, Holland's news leader.
Good morning. Welcome to the Outdoor Show. How are you this morning, Captain Tim?
Good. What about you?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
And we got Dave here in the studio with us. Dave, how are you?
Yes, wonderful.
We're talking to Dave Lammer, Advantage Marine. But before that, did you know something that doesn't hit the news? There's things that don't hit the news. There was a concealed carrier in Chicago, Illinois, and he was an Uber driver. What is an Uber exactly?
Isn't that one of those, I could be wrong, but isn't that one of those?
It's the taxi guys that aren't a taxi.
Chris knows.
Of course he would.
Well, your description, this is going to be fun. What was your description?
I thought it was one of those cars that they have for rent around the city that you are, no, those are called zip cars. Uber, what's that?
Now you're talking stuff I don't know.
What's a
Isn't
zip
Uber
car?
that public transportation that's around there, the bus?
No.
It's anybody can be a taxi driver, basically. You have to use your own car. You go through a background check, and then you get an app on your phones. You can call an Uber driver, and if they're clocked in, they'll come pick you up and take you where you need to go. And it's all, there's no cash or anything like that. You're all paying through your cell phone. It's
No kidding.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Bigger cities right now, I don't think you can do it in Holland, but Grand Rapids has it.
I don't trust them.
There you go, another business for you.
Yep, you know it. Let's get to that one, too.
He's doing like 17 different things.
Yeah.
Now he's a captain.
Yeah. Chris, are you an Uber driver? Do you go there for the weekend? Oh, okay.
So the Uber driver is a concealed carrier, and he's driving down the road, and a gunman starts shooting people. And he comes across this scene. He jumps out of his car, and he actually took down the bad guy.
Really?
He was first on scene because it happened right as he was coming up there.
No kidding.
I was shocked. I was in Chicago.
Well,
In
it doesn't
Chicago.
shock me too much happening in Chicago, but
You mean the initial shooting
yeah.
part?
But good for him. Good for him.
I just thought that was kind of cool because those
Yep.
are the things that you don't see on the news.
Yep.
I'm not saying it's a good thing that any shooting happened.
It saved lives.
But he saved multiple lives because he took out that bad guy before he could kill more people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many he ended up hitting or anything, but the Uber driver got him.
Saved the day.
That's just uber cool.
Uber awesome. What else was the big news? What else was the big local news that happened here on Thursday night, during the day? Come on.
Tim became Captain Tim?
Well, that was last week Saturday. Yep. No, what happened?
Sometimes Tim became Captain Tim.
Did you not hear what happened on 152nd and Riley?
Oh, the bear.
The bear.
The bear.
All right.
Yeah, I got texts on Friday morning.
Yep.
Are we going bear hunting?
Yeah.
A friend of mine sent out a group text to a bunch of us.
Yeah.
And so everybody started responding,
Yeah.
where was he and everything else. And, yeah, 152nd and Riley, and he was headed south. They expected that if he continued to head south at a normal rate that a black bear would travel, he'd be in the Hamilton area sometime yesterday afternoon.
Yeah. I wonder if he just kept going south or if he made home somewhere, which I'm not very far south, maybe a mile or two, so I hope he doesn't make my sheep and chickens home. But
Oh.
yeah, well, we got that nice swamp right across the road. It'd be a perfect place for him to go and hide there. Yeah.
I'm just thinking the whole terrain, the environment there,
absolutely.
everything's perfect.
Yeah.
He didn't go to Hamilton.
Hey, I welcome him there. I think it's neat.
He's had enough of winters, too.
Oh, yeah. He's heading south.
Yeah, he said,
I'm going
sick
to
of it.
Florida. See ya. But now I did hear a bunch of different things. You know, of course, as soon as something like this happens, it's all these rumors get thrown out. But then I also heard that it was a sow with a cub. And I don't know what's true. I don't know
Okay, if it's a sow with a cub, people do not go looking for it.
at all. Stay away from them.
Yeah.
Just let them be.
Do not
They'll
go
leave you
looking
alone.
for
You
it.
let them be. But I don't know that for a fact. It's just some of the rumors that came in. I heard it was a very large bear. To me, says it would be a boar if it was a very large bear. But,
Well, and who was looking at it?
yeah. Well, I guess there was multiple people that saw it starting at 2:30 on Thursday afternoon. And they
Really?
Oh yeah, and multiple people saw it there. And one thing I was reading was that the DNR had said that it was a reliable source that reported it.
Yes. Well, they even had an interview with the DNR,
Okay, I didn't see that one.
with a representative from the DNR.
Yep.
And it was just a really short little clip. It didn't talk about safety and everything else. If you do see the bear, don't approach the bear.
Yeah. This isn't the zoo.
Yeah, the representative from the DNR made kind of a joke about chasing it out of your backyard, but don't go chasing it with a broom.
Yeah.
Just, yell at it or whatever, but from a safe distance
Yep.
and behind closed doors.
Yeah. But how many years haven't they been moving south, They did say that Ottawa County...
1999, one of my night students, his house, he thought it was broken into because the kitchen window had been broken and everything around the sink was a mess, knocked over and everything. He thought somebody broke the window and came through. Nobody came in the house, but when he called the sheriff, he didn't disturb anything because there was snow on the ground, waited for the sheriff to get there. Sheriff got there, and it was bear tracks. And that was in 99 down by the Allegan Dam.
See, and I believe it. I've heard multiple reports of it, but, yeah, I mean...
I think it's kind of cool,
I do
but...
too.
All
I'm
the people
sure-
that are running on bike paths
Yeah.
and stuff, if they cross between the cub and the mama, it's not a good situation.
Yeah, but, think of the UP, think of, even an hour up north. How many
They don't
bears
have
we
bike
have.
paths and they don't go jogging.
You can't say that.
And the most part.
We've coexisted with these things for so many years. It's okay.
Well, I'm not. I don't want people to panic, but
No. Well, but also don't... I
Be
just
aware.
hope everybody knows.
Be
it's,
aware.
It's not a petting zoo.
Yeah.
Leave them be. They'll be fine.
yeah, they're kind of cool. But
Mhm.
you don't want to go up and, like you said,
Yeah.
pet them.
Yeah. If you have the chance to
on.
ride that cub, don't do that.
Hold your hand out.
Dave's over here puffing out his chest. I can do it.
Yeah.
No, he go that way, I go that way.
Well, he
I'm
might
out
stay
of
there, but I'm running that way quick.
Yep, I'm out of here.
You'll know if I see it. You'll hear the screams.
Well, they do say you're not to get in a fetal position and not to run with black bear. It's different than, they say not to run with either grizzly or
Yeah.
black bear, but they do say you're supposed to wave your arms large, make lots of noise, and they'll turn and go away. They're not looking to attack, and don't look them straight in the eye. Straight in the eye is a challenge versus not looking them straight in the eye and then waving your arms and making lots of noise.
Just like you.
Yeah. They didn't hear that.
Just like you, Tom.
Yep.
Yeah, don't look me straight in the eye.
Yeah.
Scream a lot, I'll walk away.
Yeah, you got it. No, so I kind of thought that was neat. It's neat that they are in the area, and that. But one of the reports that I read was that it's not uncommon at all for Ottawa County to have bears in the spring, that they move here for some reason, and then they move back north.
Like Dave said, they're sick of winter.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
They've been walking south.
See, all we know is that bear might have been coming from the south, heading back north, because winter's done.
You never know.
That's true.
You never know. But friends of mine that used to live up north, their school would have to close down things like track meets because the bears would be on the field.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Track meets postponed until the bear leaves.
Yeah.
That would be
That's a new
kind of.
one.
It'd be kind of cool, but it delays the schedule just a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The other thing coming up, May 16th through May 22, is National Safe Boating Week.
You got it.
So we will be talking to Chief Paquette and Sergeant Koenig soon.
Yeah, it is Sergeant Koenig, yeah.
I think he's still sergeant.
Is he captain? No, they wouldn't be a captain, would they?
I don't think he became a
Sergeant,
captain.
yeah, I think it's sergeant. Yeah.
I had hoped he'd become a captain, but I don't think he became a captain.
Nope.
You became a captain.
Boom.
I don't think you go from sergeant to captain.
Lieutenant.
Is it lieutenant?
Yeah.
Is he lieutenant yet?
Gosh, I don't know.
He's probably
Should be.
listening. All he's got to do is call in and give us or text
We don't
me.
want to be,
Just text me. I don't want to call him sergeant when he's a lieutenant.
Yeah. No, but I'll tell you what, I hope everybody went to that free boat inspection last weekend.
I got a text last weekend. 26 or 28 boats.
Yeah, I was there at
said.
noon 30, and it was up to 26, I think. What a wonderful thing.
So they didn't continue after that.
I think it was 1 o'clock that they were going to shut down, but there were still boats coming in when I got there.
26 boats.
Okay.
26 boats, it says.
Good. That's great. It should have been 260. That's a good thing to have.
The way the weather was, probably a lot of people.
Well, no. Last Saturday was bright and sunny, 75
right.
Yeah,
degrees.
they didn't want to take
That's
the time
right.
to go over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't want to take that. You're right.
Yep.
I was thinking earlier.
Yep. No, it was...
yeah, no, they're right. That was good.
Yeah, it was a
Saturday.
beautiful day and just a good time. They did a thorough inspection. I even passed. What? Yes.
Really?
Yep. On my first try.
He don't look like a guy that have up to date
No. No.
flares on board.
No, I know. It's crazy.
And
I think I got lucky.
wouldn't know how old the fire extinguisher is.
Yeah.
Well, you know where the expiration thing is. You just scratch the tag a little bit. See?
Yeah.
A little black Sharpie.
Outboard or stern?
Outboard.
Oh,
Yeah.
because I was going to say, the blower wouldn't work.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't need that with an
Sure
outboard.
it does.
Yeah.
Oh, golly. Anyhow, we're going to talk more about boating and safe boating when we return. The Outdoor Show is brought to you by Westenbrook Mower, where they service what they sell. All units are ready to use when they leave the store, and Westenbrook submits your warranty information so you don't have to. Stop into the Holland or the Jennison store. Check them out on your computer at westenbrookmower.com or call them at 396-5733. Lines are open. Give us a call, 395-1450. We'll be back here shortly on the Outdoor Show. Welcome back to the Outdoor Show, brought to you by Michigan Firearms, your personal protection and concealed carry specialists. We're back, ready to talk with you. Give us a call, 395-1450. We're here with Dave Lammer from Advantage Marine in Zeeland and Grand Haven, right?
Yeah.
In Zeeland and Grand Haven. You didn't know that, did you,
I
Tim?
didn't. When did this happen?
Oh, that was a long time ago, wasn't it?
I think we're starting our 7th summer up there,
No kidding.
right in the Wharf Marina.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, son Eric runs that.
Good.
So
Yeah.
Good.
And has it been an extremely busy year getting boats out and stuff? Are people excited, or are they kind of holding back?
it's moving along. No, they're not moving real fast. But again, like the weather we had this week,
Yeah. Snow.
snow.
Yeah.
I did start last week putting boats in the water, the big boats.
Mm-hmm.
And now when I get done here too, I got 3 of them to put in this morning yet.
The big ones for like charter fishing and stuff.
Yeah, one of
Or-
them charter, but just the bigger, the ones I got to pick them up off the stands,
Mhm.
set them on my trailer, and bring them to the water.
Now, those are ones that go in slips,
Yep.
basically. When
Yeah.
we're talking bigger boats, the
Yep.
ones that are in slips, people don't haul them around.
Well, here's a good
No.
question. I've had this asked a few times. If they store them with you, do you do all the spring inspections, get them ready, you put them in the water and put them in the slip?
If they want me to.
Okay. Sweet.
It's
I'm
all
sure I
about what
pushed
they
that word
choose
around.
for.
It's what they choose. The 3 today's in a different heated storage. I mean, I have my own heated storage. I started that a few years back, but like these 3 boats are in another heated storage, and then obviously there's the Chris Craft building.
Mm-hmm.
So, between basically I haul boats. I got them roughly in 3 places there.
Right.
And then I do have a couple on stands out in the parking lot in Zeeland.
Yeah, and those are the ones that you do shrink wrap on, right?
Yep. And then I've also got cold storage. So we're getting them. We're starting to have people call, and but it's to the point where, yeah, it's time to get them out and get moving because.
Yeah.
Supposed to be in the 70s next week, so people are next weekend, so people are going to go, I
That'd
want
be
my
good.
boat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, do you do just shrink wrapping too if somebody drives a boat to you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good to know. We got to remember that to advertise for that come fall.
Yeah.
The shrink wrapping.
Yep.
We got an advertisement for that.
Good.
We can. Yep.
Parts,
So-
repairs.
But like I said, a lot of it's what they want to do. And
Yeah.
that was the whole idea into getting into the heated storage to try and keep busier in the winter. But yeah, we'll service we'll service boats. And, you know, some of the customers, they want to work on their own stuff. And that's why they're not necessarily at the marinas.
Yeah.
You know, because they want to do their own thing on their own boat, and it's just easier if they can get in some of these private.
Well, there's, you know, like, there's some things that I do myself, and then there's the other things that I take them to you because, well, I don't want to hassle with it. Mm-hmm. You know how to do it. You ever get into one of those repairs where it's okay, this should be very similar to this other, so I'm gonna give this a go, and we'll be done in a couple days. You know, I got a couple evenings I can work on it, and then 2 weeks later you're going, should
have brought it way over 2 weeks ago. That's everything I do.
Well, I know that feeling. Working on my own boat.
Yeah.
You just think, I could get that done real quick. Nah, I can't get that done real quick.
No.
It's real quick if you just bring it over to Dave and have him do it.
Yeah.
The Zeeland location, you take care of any size boat there, repairs and stuff? When you were talking, you know,
yeah.
Like mine's only a 19-footer, so
right.
It fits in there nicely, but you got tall doors and everything else, so you can bring in the big ones to do major overhauls, right?
Yeah, right now there's a 47-foot fountain sitting inside the building.
Oh, nice. That probably takes up a little bit of space.
That takes up a lot of space.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, you know, or we go out. You know, we go to the docks.
Go repair it at the dock.
No
yeah,
kidding.
We will.
So you're mobile.
We're mobile.
Nice.
We're mobile also. Well, like these bigger boats, you don't exactly want to haul them all the way back to your shop. Yeah. You can help it on some of them.
Right.
See, I'm just picturing this. Me being a mechanic at a dock slip, all you would hear would be sploosh. Oh, whoops.
Need another wrench.
Yep.
That happened before, Dave? By the look on your face, that's happened a few times.
Maybe.
I guess better your own wrench than, oops, there went the engine.
I've seen videos of that.
Oh, I bet.
They don't tighten down the outboards.
Oh, man.
Off, or the transom breaks because it was rotted.
Oh, yeah. That's something. Do people normally inspect the transom for rot on it? I mean, do people know what to look for?
No. You know, and that's something mainly if you're buying a boat or whatever, even the smaller stuff, you know, take something, whether it's a screwdriver handle. I wouldn't necessarily use a hammer but even just do the tap test. Believe me, if things are rotted, you're going to feel it. It's going to sound hollow. I shouldn't say feel it. You're going to hear it.
Okay.
It might be doot, 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 and all of a sudden, hoo, 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 you know. Not a good description, but it sound hollow. But
I'm looking for the doot, 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 hoo, hoo, hoo.
Yeah.
But because if you've got fiberglass over the wood backer for the transom, that could rot inside there, and you wouldn't know until the fiberglass cracks and the engine falls in the water.
No, normally, you know, outboard's different. But like with a stern drive and that, if that transom wood gets that rotted around it, you're going to have a water leak that you can't stop. I mean, it's going to leak water because the wood's gone now and it can't hold it.
Okay.
Hold it tight. And that's how I find some of them. People are just saying, hey, I got a water leak. Well, start looking around and
somehow it's getting in there, and you need to know how. And
yeah, you know, you start finding it, or like that, you look while it's in the lake, and you see where it's leaking from, and
set it in, and then watch for where it's coming at.
The other thing I've done before too is at the shop. Sometimes I'll tilt them way up and start filling them up with water. You know, you can do that with a forklift. You can get the tongue up high enough. But you don't want to put too much water into the bilge because you don't want to get the starter covered with water, and you don't want to get that much that you start pouring it back through.
But then you can find where it's leaking out. Like I do with my boots.
Yep.
When my boots start leaking, I can't find that leak. I fill them up, and then I watch. There it is.
Yeah.
Then a tire patch works great.
Yeah. Usually we try that first. Once in a while we have to actually bring them down to the lake and back them in to find the leaks. But
well, that's interesting because, I think about that. My brother and I, we've replaced a couple of wood transoms on aluminum boats, and stuff like that. That's all exposed, so you see that all the time, and you know what you've got. And you don't do it with pine. I've seen people put pine wood on there.
Nah, you shouldn't.
It just doesn't work well.
No.
Soft. Use a good hardwood.
Yeah.
Anyway, We're going to talk more again when we come back. The Farmers Co-op Elevator in Hudsonville is your food plot headquarters with over 40 different seed varieties to choose from, providing in-house soil testing as well as fertilizers, lime, and equipment to plant, maintain, and get maximum performance out of your food plot. You better start looking now because this is the time to start planting those food plots. You can check it out at Farmers Co-op. They're at 3302 Prospect Street in Hudsonville. For a complete list of products and services, check them out online at fcelevator.com. Lines are open. Give us a call, 395-1450. We'll be back here shortly on The Outdoor Show. Welcome back to The Outdoor Show, brought to you by Powderhorn Guns and Archery. For all your arrow-knocking, gun-cocking, fish-hooking, flag-waving, stand-up and sing, God bless America hunting and fishing needs. Lines are open. Give us a call, 395-1450. We're back ready to answer your questions right here on The Outdoor Show.
Still haven't learned to whistle.
Almost got you.
Yeah?
He almost got you. He tried. Anyway, we're back, ready to talk with you. We've got Dave Lammer from Advantage Marine in Zeeland and also Grand Haven. The location, I knew it was in Grand Haven, but I don't know where the location exactly is.
Actually in the Wharf Marina, which is also right by the Grand Haven Yacht Club.
Grand Haven Yacht Club.
Well, when you get into Grand Haven, Jackson Street's the last traffic light before you head over the bridge.
Yep.
Turn left there, so you're heading into town.
Oh, turn left. Okay.
And then you go to 3rd Street, turn right, which is also one of the ways to get to the municipal launch.
Okay.
Okay, gotcha.
And then they're right back in there.
Nice, nice. And your son, Eric, handles that shop up there.
Yep.
Do you have heated storage and stuff in Grand Haven as well?
Yes, but no. The reason I say that is the part of the building we have is heated storage over the winter, but we let the wharf fill it. We just let them handle it.
Okay. So you let them lease those spaces or whatever the case may be that they put the boats in there.
They put the boats in there, and
Okay. And so I'm trying to figure out where it is because if I go there, it's by way of Grand River. To Grand Haven? I mean,
by way of Grand River, you got to get to where the fishermen's
station,
fish cleaning station, where all your charter boats are.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you turn in. You got to turn in there and head back up a little bit. It's actually a canal.
Yep.
So that it avoids the currents of the river when you get behind the wall or whatever.
Yeah.
What is there? Is there a wall there?
No, the power plant sits there.
Oh, it's up behind, tucked in by the power plant.
So you're coming down the Grand River, and you're going kind of by the power plant.
Mm-hmm.
While you get to where the charter boats are, then you can turn and head back east up in there into that canal.
Okay.
And the wharf has gas.
Oh, sweet. And gas is one of those things we got to be careful with, right?
Yeah,
They're going to have the ethanol free there.
Oh, yeah. It's on the water.
And we've told people this before, but the ethanol in the gasoline that you get at the gas station gathers or collects water, right?
Yeah.
Attracts it?
It likes to attract it. And so, like we've talked before, if you're using what we call pump gas, buying it on land, there is treatments that you should use with the gas. Do yourself a favor, because ethanol seems to sooner or later start messing things up if you don't take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what type of treatment is that?
Well, buy a good stabilizer.
Every tank?
There's stuff out there like, okay, I'm a Mercury dealer, so I guess at this point I'm going to push Mercury products.
Well, of course.
Which is don't get me wrong, is a good product.
Yeah.
They basically came out a few years ago with 3 bottles, and bottle number 1's called Quick Care.
Mm-hmm.
1 ounce to 10 gallons, and it's specifically for ethanol gas. It treats the gas. It doesn't actually say it's a stabilizer, but it really is. But it helps keeps the gas from phase separation. Their second bottle is called Quick Clean. You don't have to run that in every tank, but that cleans out carburetors, or in this day and age, you get more and more fuel injectors.
Yeah.
And that's a very good product. And then the third one's is stabilizer. It's called Quick Store, and that's for your long-term over the winter.
Okay.
But now you also got out there, we found I've got a guy that works for me that likes to research stuff. Better him than me. By the time I get home, I'm sick of it, you know? I just want to lay on the couch and try and forget about things for a while.
Yeah.
But anyway, Startron with enzymes. And honestly, that's what we mainly put in the boats when we winterize them in the fall. It's a very good product. If you're going to use a stable product, make sure you buy the blue stuff. It says for marine, it says for ethanol.
It's blue, though, the can,
blue.
rather than being a red
not
color.
Not the red.
What's the
it's
blue?
the blue. It
Okay.
says marine on it. But around here in Holland, I'm going to promote Merle Boost on Lakewood Boulevard has ethanol-free gas. They call
see, I
it
was going
RV.
to keep that a secret till after we, do come back from the next break. I was going to make everybody say, we got a secret pump
Yeah,
that's got
sorry.
good gas on land.
Well, where's Merrill Boost?
Oh,
Right.
shh. Maybe we'll keep that a secret from Captain Tim.
Yeah.
Lakewood Boulevard.
The Walgreens is on the corner of 112th and where Lakewood starts.
Yep.
Just head west. It's on the south side of the road. It's not that far
Used
down.
to be Pack Pride in
Is
there.
it BP now?
Was it Amoco?
It is BP.
Yeah, BP.
It's the BP station
Yeah, okay,
there.
okay.
But it's still a secret because you got to know where the pump is.
Yeah. Fine. Mr. Secretive.
Gosh, he wants me to fail.
And I will say this. I started using that stuff like in my lawnmower and weed eaters last summer.
Okay.
They run better.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. Ethanol, from a running standpoint,
Really?
yeah. But part of it, you got to remember, this stuff sets. Even our lawnmowers and that, you run them once a week.
Yeah.
You know, your cars, you constantly run the stuff through. You constantly run the stuff through. It don't set.
It's running through and you're getting rid of it. And
Yep.
with the lawnmower, like you said, once a week. With the boat, every couple of weeks sometimes for a lot of folks that can't
Yep.
get out every weekend. So it just sits there and does nothing.
Right.
And that's, you said, I think you used the term phase separation?
Phase separation, what they call it. Basically, the ethanol starts separating from the gas. That's called phase separation.
Huh. And then you've got spots where you're going to get straight ethanol coming in through the injectors or the carburetor, but running through the motor because it's separated.
Yep.
That's kind of like the whole idea of mixing different brands of oil where they'll get patches or separation. So you try to stick with the same brand when you make an oil do an oil change or something in between. Use the same stuff.
Yeah.
I got it.
You
It
know,
takes me a little bit, but I catch on.
Yeah.
Catch on. That's why you're in business.
the other thing, again, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but it don't come on here every week. When we go to Merc school, anytime we start talking in performance class, runnability, they always say if the gas is going to set in the tank longer than 30 days, they want it stabilized. And from the standpoint of where we live and where the refineries are, you got to remember that gas coming up the pipeline, it could already be 2 weeks old by the time it gets out of the pump.
Makes sense, yeah. Never thought about it that
No,
way.
you don't.
You think sit time in your boat.
Yeah, there's no refineries.
Now I'm worried
there.
about all this fuel I put in my boat last winter.
Well, and that's why when people ask me, and especially if they're using ethanol gas, because it used to be, fill the tanks before you put them away because of condensation. As well, it's like, no, I wouldn't fill my tanks.
Okay.
I wouldn't fill my tanks in the fall, because then the gas just sets and it's older, So.
I think you told me that a couple of years ago.
Yep.
That don't fill it in the wintertime. Where I was always of the idea that you would fill it in the wintertime so that it's full, so condensation doesn't gather inside it and build up the moisture.
So that's an old wives' tale then.
Well, I'm not saying it's old. They talk about, believe it or not, I guess researchers and that have said, actually the product was better years ago. And like I said,
Fuel, you
again,
mean?
to a point when the gas is going to sit there, ethanol is doing us no favors.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk more about those things that we're going to check now when we're taking our boats out and getting them ready to go in just a moment. The Outdoor Show is brought to you by Advantage Marine in Zeeland with competitive prices and personalized service to meet all your needs. Repair, storage, winterizing, parts, and more. Call Advantage Marine in Zeeland at 616-748-9235 or stop in and see Dave at 8755 Riley Street in Zeeland. That's at the corner of 88th and Riley on the northeast side of Zeeland. Lines are open. Give us a call, 395-1450. We'll be back here shortly on the Outdoor Show. Welcome back to the Outdoor Show. It's brought to you by My Firearms ETS. That's MI Firearms ETS, offering education, training, and supply the best you can find anywhere. Check us out on your computer at mifirearmsets.com. We're back ready to talk with you, 395-1450. We've got Dave Lammer from Advantage Marine. Advantage Marine located in Zeeland and in Grand Haven. And we told people how to get to it in Grand Haven right off the water, so they better go get the podcast.
Let's throw a phone number out there. How do we contact you? Set up an appointment or to have you come to our slip side to fix our boats?
616-748-9235. The Grand Haven one is 616-844-9213.
Perfect. We'll have to make sure you guys give them a call, and you do a lot of, will you do spring inspections too, just to make sure everything's looking good for the kickoff?
We'll summarize the boats, kind of check things over.
Good.
Well, I'm kind of wondering, old Captain Tim over here, he's going to be guiding Asian carp trips.
Yep.
And things of that nature. What else? Asian carp
and salmon.
And salmon?
Yep.
And old Captain Tim, we got to get his boat ready to go.
We do.
So what kind of things are we going to do before people call the store or stop in at 127 North River and ask them about it? Because, they might call us 796-0755, but they would rather see Tim, I think.
Why? Who wouldn't?
I just shocked you, didn't I?
I kind of was taken back. I was waiting. When something mean and hateful comes in, it's got to be soon.
Mean and hateful.
I think Dave was waiting, too. Wait a minute. This is not going the way I thought it would.
Nah, I thought there'd be some other sly comment in there. But
yeah, with this Asian carp that I do, I should bring my boat down to you because a lot of times I'll get into where it's maybe 3 foot of water, and then all of a sudden it's 6 inches, and I'm running an outboard. So I'll, be busting bottom. I should probably bring that to you to have you check the water pump impellers out, right?
Yeah.
Or how often should you do that? I know that's a big maintenance thing, right?
Well, it is, and it's hard to judge. All your manufacturers are going to tell you once a season or every 100 hours. Check it. Okay, us being up here in the Great North, you don't normally put that kind of hours on a boat in a season. Rule of thumb we kind of go is every 3 years.
Oh, really? Okay. Now, what about if you are hitting bottom, sucking it up? What should be checked?
Well, you always make sure in the case of an outboard, you obviously want to make sure that you see most of the outboards got somewhere where it's discharging water, so you can see that they're pumping.
Yeah.
That's your number one thing. Yes, if you're getting in shallow and you're sucking up sand a lot, and you're using the boat a lot, okay, that's where you might want to look at and say, hey, I probably ought to put a water pump impeller in it more often.
Yeah.
Obviously, stern drives are a little bit harder to keep an eye on, but then again, the stern drives have a temp gauge, whereas a lot of outboards, majority of them out there don't.
Yeah.
So that's about all I can say, like with a stern drive. And if that's the kind of stuff you're doing, you run the river, then someday you probably ought to think about a jet drive.
I agree. I do agree, and I've thought about that. But
before we go to the jet drive, we've got Ron on the line right here in Holland. And, Ron, how are you this morning?
Hey, I'm doing good, and good morning, guys.
Morning, Ron.
Hey, I had a question. There's a lot of boats out there being exchanging hands right now, people buying up or something, getting rid of their old boats. But there's people out there looking to buy their first boat. Now, as a person looking to buy a boat, are we to use a person like you, your guest there, as like our local mechanic where we could take a boat and have it checked out by him before we buy it? Or, like you would do a used car, you'd take it to your local mechanic, have him check it out, tell you the ins and outs before you buy it? Or do people just go around blindly and looking at it, kicking the tires, and things like that.
A lot of people go around blindly, don't they?
Yeah, but
This guy.
there's others. No, and we will do that. We'll check it. A lot of times you run compression, fire them up and at least run them. Like I've told everybody, if you're gonna buy a boat, at least take it for a ride in the lake, because that'll tell you a lot. I mean, you kind of got to have a general knowledge of your RPMs. I mean, if you can see, your RPMs, just for instance, you got a stern drive engine, you want to get it over 4 grand, wide open throttle, trimmed out.
Make sure it gets up there.
If it don't get up there, well, you could have an engine problem. Maybe it's just the props, But yes, depending on the size of the boat, bigger boats, people usually do a survey. And then a surveyor comes in, goes through. Most surveyors don't do the mechanical end, because a lot of times we get hired to do the compression check on the engine, but they'll check out everything. They'll take a moisture meter to it.
I think what Ron's asking is, yourself or one of your employees, would you go do that for them to make sure that they're not buying a lemon?
Yeah, we've done that. A lot of times we try and get smaller trailer boats. We'd rather have brought to the shop, because it don't make sense to, make us go out there, travel time. You're gonna, and if you want us to, we will, but you're going to pay,
the way that I'm looking at it, say I'm going to buy a charter boat that's $25,000, to pay you X amount of dollars is not a big deal when you're into that.
Right, but there again, if you're going to buy a charter boat, that's where you're going to want to spend the money.
Yeah, to have you come
have
and
a surveyor inspect it, along with, like I said, we end up out there doing a mechanical, doing the compression check and looking at the mechanical end of it.
Well, I hope it all checks out, because I'm excited to go for a ride on Tim's $25,000 boat.
Well, speaking of that, I'm going to have to talk to you about a loan, Tom. I'm good at paying back.
So, I think Ron had a really good point there.
Very good point.
You go out and you look at these boats. Well, how do you know the owner before you really knows what he's talking about when he says it's in great condition? How do you know you can trust them? And if they're willing to let you take the boat, you got a little trust factor that you're
most people will.
There.
I mean, over the years we've done quite a few where they brought them in. Mm-hmm. And one thing I've always tried to do, I mean, this time of the year too, we're busy. We're a couple of weeks out, but we always kind of try and squeeze that stuff in, because number one, you got a prospective buyer. Number two, you got the owner that wants to get rid of the boat, and it's kind of like, okay, you can't sit there and tell you we can't look at the boat for 2 weeks just to see if it's worth buying. But just remember, when you do go look at a boat, like I said, kick the tires and that, but look at it. Like I said, even to go to the transom to tap on it, you'll hear if there's
the backside of a screwdriver handle.
Yeah, you'll hear if you got hollowness in it. Look if it's got a wooden floor in that. Step in the boat. Do you have a soft floor? Mm-hmm. It's just you just kind of got to be observant. Simple things as, does the blower work? Well, if the blower don't work, then you start questioning what other don't work and how well's the maintenance.
Snowball effect. One thing's wrong, what else can be wrong?
Yeah.
Or ask for service records.
Yep.
Who's been there? Their mechanic, and everybody should say Advantage, but I mean, call them up.
Well, they can.
Yeah.
748-9235.
Nice. You remembered that quick. Man.
Yeah, but there's a lot of other good people around too.
Absolutely,
good shops, but yeah.
But you guys are great. That's what separates good from great.
We try.
That's where I go.
Yeah.
Because I go there, everybody else should say, I want to go there.
Right. And then I can buy Tom's boat and say, what do you think? And you say,
oh, no.
Kick that tire for a little bit.
Tom's boat's ready to go.
Oh, you got it.
Ready to go.
I'm just giving him a hard time.
Yep.
Yeah, I got it. I picked it up a couple weeks ago, weeks ago. And Lucas has been chomping at the bit. Dad, come on, I want to take it out.
Yeah.
Just say, go ahead, son.
I told him he could, but I gave him specific things that Dave told me we had to do, because I had a situation, so we got to do a break-in.
Oh.
Because we lost the number one cylinder.
Oh.
We lost the piston, the rod, we
the
lost
rod,
everything.
The rod was still
the rod
there.
stayed there.
The piston wasn't exactly in one piece anymore, and
because Lucas took it out.
Might have been.
It was missing a valve in the head. Yeah, it had issues.
Break-ins are no fun on that kind of stuff.
And the thing too, when that happened, we were running just fine, cruising right along, and all of a sudden something just let loose. And when it let loose, boy, I knew it.
Yep.
We shut it down, and then we had to go. We were we were near Big Bend on the Hardy Pond, and we had to get towed all the way back to Brower.
Yep.
That's a little hike,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't tow a boat at full speed.
Yeah.
So you take your time, tour along, enjoy it. We'll talk to you all next week right here on the Outdoor Show. Thanks, Dave, for coming
Thank you,
along.
Dave.
Thanks
being
for
here.
having me.